and just popped them into the machine like you or I would do when we were at home.
Out to Angeli Swinton, President and CEO of Psy Law Forensics Limited, joining us out of Washington. Angeli, thank you for being with us. Quick question. If there is DNA such as blood, bodily fluids on a pair of slacks and you put them through the washing machine, does it forever destroy the DNA?
Well, Nancy, that depends. It certainly doesn't help the situation and doesn't make the laboratory's job any easier, but DNA is a pretty robust molecule, and it tends to sort of burrow into material like, I don't know if these pants were jeans or
sounds like gray slacks.
Okay, well, so we don't know what the material of them is.
Pinstripe. It said pinstripe, which leads me to think maybe it goes with a suit. That's why I thought maybe they were laundered.
Well, yeah, that was a good question, and I guess we don't know, but if Cindy just washed them in a regular washing machine with detergent, it is possible that if there was DNA on the pants, that some of the material is still embedded in the fabric. There certainly have been reported cases where attempts have been made to wash an item and DNA was still recovered.
How about if they were laundered at a dry cleaner?
I don't know what specific chemicals a dry cleaner would use, and if they use something different than just a regular detergent, that may have an impact on the recovery. It would have to depend on what specifically was used.
Everybody, we are taking your calls live. Back out to Mark Williams, WNDB News Talk. Mark, another thing I learned from going over this search warrant with a fine-tooth comb, you know how we learned at the get-go that Mom Casey had told police that the babysitter, Zenaida Gonzalez, lived at apartment 210 Sawgrass Apartments. That's not all she told him. She went on a wild goose chase and took him to 3 different locations. It sounds as if she's just driving along the street with cops and goes, oh yeah, that's where she lived one time. I took my kid there one time. That place turned out to be a senior citizens living high-rise or apartment where only seniors could live. Okay, that was a lie. Then she took him on a wild goose chase to this condo complex, and they were driving around going, which condo was it you dropped your child off at in the past? They went to 3 separate ones, and finally said, why can't you find it? She said, well, I came here so many times, I don't remember the address. So she came so many times, why couldn't she take them to where Zenaida Gonzalez, the babysitter, lived with possibly little Kelly there? It was a huge wild goose chase ending in Sawgrass Apartments.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Now, here's one thing that was revealed this afternoon. Again, you'll have Louis Bolton from Channel 6 on the show a little bit later on. But in the interview I saw earlier this evening, he had an interview exclusively with Zenaida Gonzalez. They don't show her face, but they show her, they have her voice not altered at all. But she says she has had a tough time. She has no idea why Casey Anthony ever picked her name out. She admits that she was at the apartment complex, the Sawgrass apartment complex, on the 17th of June. But she was at several apartment complexes that day. Investigators have showed her pictures of Casey and Caylee. She has never met, nor has never seen these 2 individuals, either Casey or Caylee. And they've talked to her at least 3 times.
Speaking of Zenaida Gonzalez, the Zenaida Gonzalez attached to Sawgrass Apartments has been found and basically cleared. She's never met Casey or Kelly Anthony, has never even heard of them until now. Take a listen to what Zenaida Gonzalez had to say.
What has your life been like?
Oh, horrible. Horrible. And my name is just because it's not so much because they know my face. It's more or less because they know my name. And since they know my name, everywhere I go, they're obviously insinuating that I did something wrong because my name is so much on the news. So I haven't been able to get a job. I haven't been able to do much of nothing because everybody's just judging me by my name.
What would you say to Casey Anthony?
Why me? Why would you choose my name of all the people in Florida? Why would you choose my name? You know, if I don't know you, never met you, why would you choose my name? Make my life impossible. You know, right now my life is very impossible because she chose to say my name, of all people. To her family, I don't know. I don't know what to tell them because I have nothing to do with them. I never met them. You know, I wish them the best of luck. I hope the baby comes, you know, because they find her and she's okay, you know, she comes back home.
Joining us right now live outside the Anthony home is our producer, producer Natisha Lance. Natisha, what can you tell me about real-life CSI and the lead investigator on the case showing up at the Anthony home today? What did they take from the home?
Well, CSI did come again today, this time without a search warrant. They came at about 11 this morning. Lead investigator Sergeant John Allen was here, as well as a mediator of sorts who is his boss. He said that he was trying to kind of mediate and massage the relationship that has gone a little bit off track. As to what they've taken, we don't know exactly at this point, but we think that they probably took those slacks that you were talking about earlier.
It's my understanding to Nikki Pierce with WDBO that they took items, clothing items that had been in a suitcase there in the Anthony home. All clothing belonging to Mom Casey Anthony.
In that search warrant, that's correct. In that search warrant, there was a list of clothing, 3 different pairs of pants, several shirts and skirts. They didn't specify the color of those, so I don't know if the gray pants were included, but I would certainly assume so.
Let's Unleash the Lawyers. We're taking your calls live. Joining us tonight, Eleanor Dixon, felony prosecutor out of Atlanta, Richard Herman, veteran defense attorney out of New York, and defense attorney, veteran trial lawyer, Peter Odom, joining us out of Atlanta. To you, Eleanor Dixon, weigh in.
Well, I think those pants are going to be key, but also the other clothing. It's not just the pants. They're going to take the clothing.
You've seen the return on the search warrant.
Exactly.
What did you learn?
We learned about shirts that they've taken, skirts and pants as well, and jeans too. So all of those pieces of clothing may yield some type of forensic evidence.
Odom?
Well, even if they find DNA on those pants, remember that these two live together. That DNA, the young kid's, Kaylee's DNA, is going to be all over that house. So that's not necessarily going to tell you anything about what happened to her.
Well, that's a legitimate point, Peter Odom, but Richard Herman, this is a hypothetical to combat what Odom just said. If you find blood on the slacks that Mom Casey had on the last day Kaylee was seen alive, that would be bombshell evidence. I mean, you've got to look at not only the fact that they live together, but you have to look at where the DNA is found, what type of DNA it is, the context in which it comes to be on the article.
Absolutely, Nancy, but like Mr. Odom just said, you know, the last day they saw her was June 15th. This is now August 7th. News teams, the public, press have been in that house. I think the crime scene's been corrupted.
Oh, please,
I'm not
Richard,
so excited
you really
about it,
think
Nancy.
the press has been digging through her clothes closet? I don't think so.
know, but that crime scene has not been preserved.
All right, Johnny Cochran.
She was shown the photo and she did not recognize this person. My understanding is that this person has come forward and she said, you know, she doesn't want to be bothered anymore. She's sick and tired of people mentioning her name. We believe she has no involvement. I think that we don't know exactly how it is that her name was a coincidence, but we don't think that she's involved at all.